Today I'm going to answer a question regarding the project charter and what you need to include in the project charter. So in Learning Plan 2 we're talking about project management. We're spending a lot of time learning and trying out some of the tools of project management. One of the tools is a project charter. This project charter is really the kickoff to a project. So basically it tells the team what you need to be doing and what the expectations are. So it includes a formal objective statement, this is an example. It includes the scope, the schedule, and the resources. I've got a lot of information here on definition of scope, and then I've also included a project charter document, which I'll quickly open. This is just a sample. There's tons of different templates out there. So this is the project charter that we're going to be using. So here's what you're going to be doing. Your final project in the class is a walkthrough audit. So in this section, it links to the final project, and it talks about the walkthrough audit, the fact that you're going to be exploring a business, not one that you work at, and that you're going to be doing an audit of different project processes that we learned about in Operations 1 and 2. So it can include OSHA, it can include the facility layout, it can include service, it can include process, inventory, all of those things that we talk about in these two classes. So what you're going to do is fill out this project charter about that walkthrough audit. So the first thing that you'll do is write a statement or two about the project. So you've been asked to do a walkthrough audit of a local business that you get to select on your own and apply concepts from class to that project, something like that. Your project scope then is going to talk about how much time you have to get this done. It's going to talk about specifically how many probably competencies or objectives you need to talk about within your project. So you need to cover 5 different topic areas or 7. I can't remember what's in there. So read through your assignment and include that in there. So you can say, I'm going to identify a local business and I'm going to conduct a walkthrough audit applying 5 concepts to the project charter, whatever it might be. In the project objectives, you're going to write at least one project objective, including schedule, scope, and resources. So this is really very similar to the two. I would just write the objective. So project scope and objective is pretty much the same thing. You could potentially say all 3 of the things in your project scope and then say, I will identify one local business, I will identify X amount of project course outcomes that I'm going to be applying, and then the third thing is I will have it completed by the end of the semester. The stakeholders are the people who are important in this. So one of them is probably me, one of them is you, and another stakeholder will probably be maybe a manager or an employee at the company that you're going to be visiting. Your milestones, again, list the general timeline, include 3 dates. So you could say, I will identify a business by October 1st. I will identify all of the questions and what I want to investigate by October 10th, and I will talk to the manager of the store or business by October 20th. And then once you do that, you can probably identify the date that you're going to go through and do the audit, whatever it might be. Any assumptions you would list here, one of them might be that the business will be willing to work with you. So that would be an assumption. The project constraints might be the time that you have available to do this. It might be the time the business has is open hours, things like that. So those are project constraints. And then your dependencies is what is this dependent on? So the project is dependent on your understanding of a walkthrough audit. It's dependent on cooperation from a local business, etc. So what are you dependent on? And then any risks that you might think about. So anything that might maybe throw your project awry. So maybe it's a family issue that might come up. Maybe it's none of the local businesses are willing to work with you. Those types of things. Usually when we identify risks, then we also look for what will we do if that happens. So it's really trying to come up with solutions to the risks if they do occur. So just one risk, one dependency, one constraint, one assumption, your general timeline with 3 dates. It's pretty brief, and much of this you should be able to get through my walkthrough audit. assignment. I hope this helps. I know there's some confusion about it. I thought the video would be a little bit easier than trying to explain this in writing. So let me know if you have any other questions that wasn't answered specifically in the project charter. Thanks.